So Mitchell, what were some of the things you worked with Mitchell on to kind of get him back on track?
We just went back and just watched some of his technique, wanted to make sure his step pattern was what we wanted it to be. And then, we just kind of assessed everything from the snap to the hold, making sure we were hitting the spot right. And, I think the common thing is anytime a kicker may miss one or two, the word head case comes out. But, more times than not, that's not necessarily the case. It's just like anything. You got to really look at the details and see which things you got to really be perfect on.
Any positive thinking exercises? Do you have conversations with him?
We do. We do a lot of, I don't want to say journaling, but a lot of word phrases that when he knows he's stepped across the hash onto the field, he has certain phrases and things that he's going to lock into to train his brain, just like a golfer would. Our punters, our snappers do the same thing. So it relates a lot. The kicking game in general relates a lot to golf, more so than any other sport. And you got to have that mental edge and that mental toughness.
Can you give any examples?
One of our phrases, especially for Mitch, he's trying to make sure he always lands upright and finishes straight. So that's a common phrase that he's going to tell himself. Every specialist is going to tailor it to what fits them specifically and what they're trying to work on. Sometimes it may change week to week, or more so once you get into the season and you have a proven guy, it might only have one or two phrases that they're really trying to lock in on.
Just when the first one went through last week, just kind of what was your reaction to that? So did you see everything was working well, and then when you have the success at the end, does that kind of rejuvenate his confidence a little bit?
Yeah, I think, definitely, I would compare it to, any other position, I guess, like a quarterback who's struggling and missing the mark and then all of a sudden can kind of get on a roll. That's going to always psychologically help. For me, I expect him when we send him out there to make every kick. So, I didn't have this big sigh of relief. It was, okay, let's go. We're back on track, and we just keep rolling.
Right. Just overall, the special teams unit last week, Jeff kind of praised it after the game. That a lot of things went right. Just from after looking at everything, what did you like about what your unit did in that game?
I thought they were really locked into the game plan in terms of understanding, not every single play is necessarily going to be an explosive kick return for a touchdown or a pump block, but there's other ways you can affect the game. And sometimes, TJ, for example, on one play, caught a ball, ran up and caught a ball on a punt return that could have easily, rolled, a pretty good distance. And that was after we had made him re-kick, on a ball that was down on a one, so that was about a 50-yard swing. We did a really good job communicating. They had to play their backup kicker that really we didn't know about until the start of the game, right before in warm-ups. And, there were some really short kicks where if we're not communicating, all of a sudden the ball hits, and it could be Ben Fertney in the back end with the two returners did a great job communicating just to field the kicks and the punts. And then, the field goals were great. The kickoff coverage I thought was really good. We were playing against a really good kick return team that same thing we're going to play this week. And those guys, answered the bell, answered the challenge. And so I just thought as a unit they took a lot of pride in doing the littlest things throughout the week to get themselves ready. And then the specialists performed, to the standard that we have to have.
How about Jack Ansell's development?
Yeah, I think it's really coming along. I think people forget that he's a true freshman. And so in that regard, so there's still some hiccups. There's still some learning curve from learning the whole game in general, when teams are trying to come after a block, when he can hold on to it longer in terms of feeling the wind and judging it in a stadium, So I've been real pleased. Do we always want it to be better? Absolutely, just like for anybody. But, he's very coachable. He wants to get it right. He cares. And I think he's had a couple good weeks back-to-back. So, this will be another big test.
You also work with the defense, Marty. Let's talk about your role there with the linebackers specifically, and maybe the play of that unit and some of the things you're helping with and coaching there.
Yeah, I help Coach Lambert. I coach the outside linebackers. He coaches all the linebackers together, but, really help when it comes to Jalen Graham and that Sam nickel position, and just really try and help assist, especially when we need to break up and do different avenues regarding the inside backers might be need to working on run. We may be working on turnover circuit or drops, to work on our drop coverage as that nickel Sam backer. So it's kind of it's nice because then you have eyes, you have eyes on the inside backers, and then you have eyes that on more of the open field in the passing game. So that helps Coach Lambert a lot. And, I think Jay Graham has done a great job, as well as all the backers, but he's really taken the coaching, has no ego, and has been a leader for us week in and week out.
I was going to ask, why is he excelling this year?
I think he's really locked in, and he believes in the game plan. He has a lot of, he took a year where he was learning a new position last year and then a new position this year, but he's really embraced it, and we've tried to make sure the scheme fits for him. And that's something that we've really tried to hone in on. Okay, what can he do? And with his great athleticism, how can we put him in positions, whether it's blitzing, whether it's dropping, whether it's playing man, and really said, hey, this is your game plan for this week. And then, being able to have that one-on-one time. If Coach Lambert's meeting with the other guys, then I can coach that position and really focus on, because it's such a dynamic position, being that hybrid player.
Right.
Hey, are there any, unsung heroes, just guys, special teamers, Marty, on the coverage or return units that have really excelled this year? Maybe they're not full-time starters on other units, but they've really been special team aces for you, I guess.
Yeah, there's a couple that come to mind that, they're always on those coverage units. Clyde Washington, Sanusi Kane, O.C. Brothers. Those guys have really, they play, if you were going to look, they play on, 3 out of 4 phases, if not 4 out of 4 phases a week. Ben Crowell's done a good job, and as well, and so the biggest part for us is we believe, we have a phrase, basically a unit identity called TTG. They're called Train to Go, and they came up with it. They have their creed, so you'll have to ask them. But it's something that we really take pride in throughout the week, that this is the standard we're going to hold each other to, or they're going to hold themselves to. And it's really just kind of taken off that now people want to be a part of it. They want to be part of making these plays, making these tackles inside the 20 on kickoff, or Cam Allen, TJ Sheffield, Milton Wright, guys who are starters playing on the punt team. That's the kind of standard that you want to get to, and people just feed off that.